Hi everyone. It's me again. What I would, I don't know why I'm doing this, nor do I even think that I should do this really, because in no feng shui do I really give a shit, but, way to start a happy note there in the beginning, but besides the point, there's been a bit of an outrage, not even a bit of an outrage, more like an outrage, really. Like, I emphasize that, like, in outrage, because our internet hero, our YouTube star, Logan Paul, which let's in short story notice, he went to Japan. He was fucking goofing off. He was venting some of his brain cells that he'd literally just thrown away. And just being Logan Paul, really. There's no other better description or explanation than just to call him Logan Paul. He's just being Logan Paul. There's no one else like him. There's no one else that dumber than him. Well, besides a few people I know that are kind of like Logan Paul, but really, Logan Paul just being Logan Paul. I'm not trying to get into the bandwagon, nor do I want to, like, look like I'm a hero too, like, look guys, I'm doing something good. But, besides that, for me to do a video on that, comes a good reason. And it's not for views, it's not for, to make myself look like, a good person and to try and, like, get on with the whole mob against, Logan Paul, and especially how Japan is also after Logan Paul, so Logan Paul's really the World War III we're focusing on here. But I myself, and I am a victim of that particular circumstance, which Logan Paul made fun of, and which is what I was trying to say, is that Logan Paul went to Japan being Logan Paul, and he went to, for some reason, I don't know why, for someone like Logan Paul, but he went to the Ogohari Forest, or the Sea of Trees, or most likely known, the Suicide Forest in short. He went there in hopes of, I don't know what's up in Logan Paul's head. It's a mystery. It's something that scientists will never figure out in years to come, of how Logan Paul's brain functions, but whatever he was going for, he stumbled upon a dead body, which of course is called Suicide Forest. You're bound to find someone who's committed suicide there, and he didn't know how to react, which I call bullshit, and just decided to go like, bro, like, we got like good shit here. I'ma get so many views, and I'ma be a YouTube star to prevent suicide. Yeah, it's literally about Logan Paul. And did he really do any good in the end? I don't think. Obviously, I don't think he did. But besides that, he didn't know how to react. Again, BS. And found the dead body. Went up close to the dead body. I bet whoever's that dead man, that god awful, like, I feel bad, like, that dead man who's now being faced all over the internet thanks to Logan Paul, like, I bet whoever was in that man's family, or whoever that's connected to that family, watches Logan Paul and sees that on, and he or she sees that on Logan Paul's vlog and just bursts into tears and finds out that he or her's family members died right there, and Logan Paul's just all like, look bro, his hands are purple. Is that how the body functions? But yeah, like, why? Like, out of all things to vlog, why? I don't even care if you go to a strip club and vlog there. Like, that's Logan. He has a lot of money. He can literally make everyone there in the strip club go to college, really, from how much fucking money he owns, or makes, actually. But besides that, what I wanted to talk about is mainly Logan Paul and mental health, in general. What I think what Logan Paul did is absolutely should come with no excuse. in honesty, all of us do make fun of, you know, suicide. I myself make fun of suicide, but not to in front of someone who's, you know, been through that. Unless you know that person on another level, then that's okay. But if you just met them and just go like, "Oh, you died," then you're bound to get shit talked to and, you know, probably get in trouble. And for Logan Paul to have the bright idea, he's not even bright. Why would I say bright idea? To have the fucking dullest, darkest mind, like not even the lights are in there. It's completely dark in his head. There's nobody even there in there. Like the saying comes, the lights are on but nobody's home. This is the complete opposite. The lights are off and nobody's even in there either. There's nothing inside of Logan Paul's head. It's just his body that functions for him, not even his fucking mind that helps. But what else? I don't know. It's just the first time I just felt like I didn't care, but there was just a hint that I was just really like outraged, because how many times have we had the Paul brothers, you know, do the most like dumbest things and never like give a rat's ass afterwards? I don't know, it's surprising. But first of all, you know, in general, there should be no excuse that Logan Paul should come up with. I don't think he has ever, you know, done an excuse. I mean, he's done an apology video, which I don't think has sufficed. I think he should have went back to Japan. You know, I think he should have flown to Japan and then, you know, give his apologies and his respects so he can redeem himself, instead of just hiding behind a camera and his, you know, how much grand million house in his little room in his million house. And, you know, I think he should go back and, you know, redeem himself. And then once he does it, afterwards, we don't have to give a fuck about him anymore. Like, I wasn't even a fake laugh. Like, that's like a relieving laugh, just to get Logan Paul, the Paul brothers, out of our minds, really. Also, and it's really sad too, of how his fan base, or, you know, the majority of them are kids. But what's surprising is that for me, is that I've met some, you know, teens, like 16-year-olds, mid-teens, in their, you know, mids, 16 to 17-year-olds to 15. Like, they still adore Logan Paul and Jake Paul, and, you know, I don't understand. Maybe they're just still stuck in like 2012 with the fucking Vine evasion. I liked Vines at first. I liked them, but then like gradually, slowly afterwards, I just felt like, it's stupid, and I was glad that Vine was dead. Even though there were some Vines that were pretty enjoyable, but the majority of the time I didn't like it. Fuck that. But really, I don't understand what gives you, you know, why go there in the first place? The Suicide Forest. Why go there? What are you gonna get out of it other than grief and dread and sorrow and all of these really bad, you know, attachments, you know, these feelings that'll get on attached to you? Like, what are you gonna get out of it other than a little bit of excitement of seeing a dead body for the first time, like Logan Paul said right here? And I don't understand. It's like, it's almost the same as, I'm gonna wear, you know, I'm gonna go to a Veterans Day, I'm gonna go to a Veterans Day event with a fucking swastika on my arm. That's the same, that's almost the same. The analogy, it's almost the same. You're gonna go to a fucking suicide forest and film a dead guy, which shouldn't be, and you're gonna, you know, go to a Veterans Day with a swastika. You're obviously, like, two of those are just as offensive as each of one another, if that made any sense. But besides that, I don't know why, you know, Logan Paul or Logan. I'm sorry if there's someone out there watching, you know, if I got it wrong. It's not Logan Paul, it's Logan. Well, I'm sorry. You're, you know, there's nothing I'll say that'll literally go straight into your head. It'll literally just fly over at a fucking straight angle. But I don't understand why children like Logan Paul or Jake Paul. I don't understand. Maybe they just want something to watch because they're bored, or they literally indulge themselves with that. But besides that, I've seen kids, and again, I said mid-teens, walking around with Maverick and Team 10 hoodies and shit, and most of them aren't really right in the head. So can I blame them? I can. So all in all, Logan Paul, I don't understand why would you go to the suicide forest. And especially, he knew he did not, how much money he paid for his translator that went with him. Like, I swear there was no time or no, point where he missed the name Suicide Forest, and still had the decency to go in there with a fucking Toy Story alien hat, and with no sense of morality. It was like, I'm not, there's a lot of people saying Logan Paul's not right in the head. Like, maybe he, in some cases, maybe he isn't right in the head, or maybe he's just fucking stupid in general. Maybe his parents, the genes went bad, and his IQ probably were just low. Which I wish we can all, like, find that out. Like, maybe lead him to a doctor, a professional, like just a doctor, and make him run tests, analysis, and probably we'll find out if Logan Paul's at a standard rate or really at a lower rate. Who knows? But I don't think Logan Paul is suffering from anything. I think he's either, maybe he is suffering from, the hunger of fame, or maybe he's just stupid. I myself think he's stupid. Maybe his dad wasn't around for him, or his parents, or whatever. I mean, it's not my business, but in this case it is, because, or it's all of our business, because look what he's done. Look what he's did to that poor man's, like, family, who probably seen that. Like, I don't know what they're feeling right now. They're probably trying to process it, but with someone with Logan Paul, like, going up in his face and look, are you dead, bro? You dead? Like, are you fucking playing with us? Like, why? You're in Suicide Forest, where people go to suicide. Do your fucking homework instead of sitting around doing diss tracks. Fucking, that's a 20-year-old man with the soul and mind of a fucking 11-year-old. Maybe that's what these kids, the Logangers, see in them. It's like, it's like Barney, except Barney's their age. I don't know. It's weird, but that's Logan Paul. Don't know why you would go there. I don't know why that would interest you other than suicide. If he like all of us said, if there's the word suicide, then that means there must be some crazy shit for the kids to see. But, I don't know. It's crazy. Besides that, I don't know. Besides that, I didn't know what to feel at first, because I was laughing at first. I'll be honest to you. I was laughing. I was like, did he really do this? I wasn't affected, but then afterwards, looking into it deeply and hearing others' reactions, it kind of hit home, because, I know people react differently, and I do too. So that's one prime example of how people react differently, if people weren't aware of that at all. But Logan Paul reacted differently, which shouldn't have been on camera. Maybe he could have fucking edited that out, but again, if he edited that out, then he wouldn't exposed himself to where we would learn how he is, and maybe lead us to a progression to fucking stop people like Logan Paul and Jake Paul, because this has been a thing for a while, because their viewers are majority, and some mid-teens and lower, preteens and children, and it's like, like I said, maybe if he edited that out, we probably wouldn't have this right now, the exposure, so that it would lead us to try and fix things about the Paul brothers, and maybe YouTube in general, because also YouTube probably got taken down for this too. But since other YouTubers I know, well, I don't know personally, of course, but I know that I watch, critical, and PewDiePie or whatever, and just other YouTubers get their videos taken down for expressing how they feel about Logan Paul and sharing their experiences about that sort of topic. So, like I said, without Logan Paul's fucking video, and if he edited that out, thinking, oh, that's not right, I should edit that out, then right now we wouldn't have the progression to fix something and, you know, spread awareness of the Paul brothers and how they are as an individual, as well as YouTube's, you know, fucking backstage, you know, behind the scenes, how they really are. So, you know, I just, it's I don't know, but also what I would like to add on to that is that man who's killed himself in that video, kind of hope there's some I kind of hope there's some like light shed to who this man is and reveal his identity, but not to like people like the Logan, the people who can actually handle this sort of topic and to take from it and to try and to try and fix this, to stop people from committing that sort of thing, so we wouldn't have to have more grief into this world than we already have right now. But see, it's hard to talk because I myself, which again earlier I brought up the topic of mental health, and that's obviously part of it, but I myself am a victim of that too. Like, the thing is that I don't know why I'm coming out with this, because for the majority of YouTubers, whenever they're hitting big, you know, they have a lot of subscribers and they have a lot of audience, you know, a lot of fans, or the audience, like to where they have like 20,000, you know, or higher than that. They would come out because it would be appropriate, and I don't blame them. And for me to just come out early, for me to come out earlier as just only having 30 subscribers, which the other side of me think it's kind of greedy and selfish for me to wait till I hit, you know, like 100 or 1,000 subscribers or higher, and just for me to come out already. You know, it's like, oh, if you want to learn more about me, you should hit subscribe. but so I kind of go with the other option, to where you should reveal yourself early, so the audience would know what they're getting into and what they're watching, you know. But besides, we're not talking about, you know, YouTube audiences or whatever. We're talking about mental health, and I myself being afflicted by it. I'm not so like troubled as I was before, but you know, there's still some areas that I am kind of troubled in. One of them mainly is depression and anxiety, and another which should be, you know, like they're like, all right, I'm not trying to get political. This is like part of that too, political, like my politics, but I'm not like, all right, I myself am autistic, Asperger's mainly. I'm not autistic, like fully autistic to autism, but there's two sides, but on the same spectrum, but just different side effects, I guess. But I am on the Asperger's side, and I myself don't believe that it's easy to come out, just as it's not as easy for gay people to come out, even though I think that it should be easier for the Aspies, because there's not a lot of Aspies than gay people. Like, gay people are outnumbering people with Asperger's, but I have it, so damn, that's one thing you learned about me. And I've been afflicted by that sort of thing, which Logan Paul, you know, was waving his camera at, which is suicide. Never did I actually, performed it to where I was this close. I mean, once I did, but not to where I just did it on the spot. Um, but I was, afflicted by those sort of, intentions, those sort of thoughts where I thought, you know, why do I need to continue when I know it's this sort of thing's gonna happen? Thoughts like, no matter how much good I do, I know it won't suffice to anything on later in life, and that it won't be applied to me or anyone, so why try? And just thoughts of like that, and it hurts. It hurts. And I don't understand, like, for people like Logan Paul who have no notion of their surroundings, literally, like, Logan Paul is, like, literally blinded of what, back in 2012, never never would I hear, around 2012, 2013, maybe even earlier, I would never hear about people, mental health was kind of something, wasn't taken on, like, seriously, and I never would hear about that sort of thing, and I never thought that I was affected by it, which now I do, and, but he's blinded from back then. He's blinded by, oh, good side positivity, Vines, Vine compilation, look at this stupid shit that I'm doing, like, he's blinded by that, and I know people like that just have, they only focus on, it's a one-way street for them, it's a one-way street, and that one-way street is whatever it contains of what they see, what they want to see, never what's around them, children, just kids. And also, even though I talked about mid-teens and liking Logan, when I call people who are still 20, like Logan Paul and Jake Paul, like when I call them kids when clearly they aren't physically, I direct to that mainly mentally, like, because they act like a kid. So if people, like, get me wrong and mistake me, that that they're just like, but bro, he's like 20. I obviously I can see that by his fucking him glamoring his nipples in that one, like, vlog, but really, he's a child. I don't think Logan Paul, I mean, who am I to say, because how do I know if someone's like that? Well, obviously Logan Paul, like, literally showed us that firsthand with his fucking $1,000 camera up to a dead man's, like, face. It's not good. It's not. There is no sense of any upheaval. There's nothing. It's just bad. It's just bad in general. I don't understand why there's some sort of an educational background to it or anything. It's just bad. Why would you want to go to a suicide forest? Imagine Logan Paul going to Auschwitz afterwards, obviously afterwards, and he's going up to one of the fucking oven, or what are the gas chambers that, of course, they would place Jews in to kill them. And imagine Logan Paul just, like, doing a joke just like he did here in Suicide Forest, where he's like, hey bro, I bet they cook Pizza Hut in here or some shit. You imagine, same like, why would you want to go to some place that has a bad background? Go, like, not only did he mess up on that, he as well messed up on prudence, discretion, on culture in Japan. He's over there, like, ruining it. Japan is, when I say this, I'm gonna be somewhere back there, somewhere back there behind my ear, I'm just gonna hear the word weeaboo when I say this, but because obviously with anime there's like, people wanting to be in Japan is heavily, like, is a heavy attribute to that, but when I think of Japan without anime, of course, like why, like okay, if they, but that's the thing too. If there was no anime, people would literally not give a shit about Japan or Asia, like or China at all, like really, nor they would have been as obsessed with those fucking, you know, prosthetic faced makeup of 1,000 pounds on their face, like K-pop. You know, they wouldn't have cared without anime, of course. Now, without anime, I wouldn't have I wouldn't have been able to watch good shit like that recent short of Blade Runner anime, or you know, or Studio Ghibli. Really, when it comes to anime, I like the mature anime, and when you hear the word anime, you know, it brings a distaste in your mouth. But besides that, without, you know, anime, people wouldn't have given a shit. But really, he says it's like Japan is like one big cartoon. No, the fuck it's not. If you like, again, if you did your homework, it's really not. There's a lot of dread that comes with it, but also some beauty into it, and how diverse they could be with their culture. You know, both food, of course, both folklore, both anything, just as America or the next country would be. But besides that, he really was a fucking idiot. He's like, oh, all about the culture, bro, and goes around being a complete idiot, literally. So he messed up twice, so I don't think there will be any forgiveness when it, like, I bet in 3 months there will be a forgiveness, like I said earlier, if he goes back there, apologizes, literally, like, makes a huge announcement, you know, has a huge, like, stage to where he, you know, talks to each one of the citizens and apologizes for what he's did or for what he's done, then that would be some sort of redemption for him. And afterwards, like I said, we don't have to give a shit about him anymore unless he does something like this again. But besides that, as someone who's been afflicted by those sort of circumstances, and to see someone like Logan Paul do that, I mean, before, there's some people have done this sort of thing, have gone to Suicide Forest, both educationally and both just for fucking fun. But really, this wasn't really acceptable, and you know, and is my throat really, as you can tell, as you can tell, I'm like coughing. I have an itchy throat. I'm getting affected by the weather. But if you think I'm crying because, you know, I sort of, like, my voice is cracking, but it's just my itchy throat right now. But I'm sorry. Excuse me. But besides that, you know, if you like Logan Paul, if you like Jake Paul, either way, we're focusing on Logan Paul. If you like him, I would try to, like, understand than just to attack you. Understand where you're coming from. Well, it's obvious where you're coming from. You're just a child, and, you know, you're really that bored of life, or you just can't really obtain actual good content, and that's what you rely to. So that's kind of sad. But besides all of that, that's something I wanted to clear up. And, you know, whatever Logan Paul has done wasn't right, and I myself is kind of, you know, as much as I do offensive jokes, never would I direct it towards someone unless needed, you know. Of course there's going to be some bias there and some hypocriticism, but really, I myself as an offensive person found that offensive, to be honest, because that's something he did directly as a joke almost, but him as, I don't see Logan Paul going into a place like that. Like, it's almost like seeing Trump going to Mexico as I don't know, it just doesn't fit. But other from all that, that's all I had to talk about. Now that you've learned a bit about me, just have that in mind, you know, into who you're watching, but just take it as who I am, really. And that's really all that is. Next, I think on the New Vegas, I think really the New Vegas playthrough that's gonna be coming, but I'm just gonna be having to think over of what should I actually do, you know, because as long as this was a heaving, you know, commentary, 30 minutes, but I'm gonna try and like I will keep New Vegas in mind, but I'm gonna be looking towards, you know, something else to do other than just New Vegas, and like trying out other games to see if you guys would like as a playthrough or whatnot. Besides from all that, thanks for listening, and I guess I'll see you guys next time.